Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Jess is on maternity leave, so Lauren LaRosa is filling in. And we got a special guest in the building, Ed Lover, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Is it all right to clap for yourself?
That's right. Absolutely.
How you doing, legend?
I can't complain, brother. Everything is good. The kids are good. The wife is good. The family's good. The grandkids is good. The tour is good. So I'm good.
That's all that matters.
That's right.
Now, for most that don't know, Ed Lover was the first celebrity I ever met.
We're from the same hood, son.
From the same hood. So I'm from Queens, Ed is from Queens, and I used to go to the school called St. Joe Manan. And across from that school, Ed Lover's, one of your kids went to PS 34.
Yep, absolutely.
And Ed was dropping his kid off, and Ed would have to walk through the park where we would play in the afternoon. And that was my first time meeting a celebrity, and Ed would walk through the park to drop his kids off and talk to all the kids out and about. And that was the first opportunity of meeting a celebrity and seeing how cool a celebrity was, and me thinking that every celebrity was that cool. But then when you get in this industry, you realize not every celebrity, celebrity's not that cool.
Every celebrity is not that cool.
But that was my first time meeting Ed Lover, and the influence of learning what he did when he was hosting MTV, to the radio, to all that stuff. But that was my first influence of how a celebrity just sitting there and stopping and talking to a kids, how much that can do to you. So
who did that for you, Ed?
Who did? Everybody running them. You know, I live 4 blocks away from Jam Master Jay.
Wow.
So running them did that for me. LL used to stop by when I was a high school security officer, stop by in front of the school, pull up in the drop top, holler at me, and all that stuff. So it was those cats that really because they from Queens. And Queens, we were like the forgotten borough in hip-hop when hip-hop was blowing up. It was like, y'all from the desert, y'all are corny, y'all live all the way out there. So those cats were the ones that really kind of gave me the influence to let me know that I can do something in hip-hop, too. LL actually made me put the microphone down. I was an MC before that.
Oh,
I was MC Eddie D back in the day. Remember everybody had a D? You ain't into D, didn't even mean nothing?
Yeah. When you say made you put it down, like
because
he told
I knew
you
I
was
wasn't
bad?
that nice.
Did he tell you that?
No.
Oh, you saw him.
Lauren, when I heard LL,
okay.
I knew I was not that nice. Now, with running them, I figure I can hang because I used to be in the park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was in the
you
park.
was outside with,
I was
with
in
the
Jamaica
bucket.
Park, 192 Park, 34 Park, just slaying cats on the mic. When I heard that little 15-year-old dude, I was like, nah, I got to figure out a different way to get into
hip-hop. At least you was
hip-hop.
honest with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing. But I was a trumpet player before that. So that's, you know, I was in the top 40 band from the time I was a kid playing trumpet. So that's why what I'm doing right now, Ed Lover Presents the Live Mixtape Band, is full circle for me because it's back with being with a band again.
So music has always been a part of
Music has
your
always
life.
been my
Hip-hop.
entire life.
And then
top 40 band?
We a top 40 band is when you play everything that's on the radio at the time.
Got you.
You know, all the Isley Brothers, Between the Sheets, and all. We used to play all of that. And we were one of the youngest bands in New York City back in when every little bar had a band and a DJ.
Wow. And do you remember the first time you heard LL? Because I'm sure it was before records.
Yeah, the first time I heard LL, I think it was on Farmers Boulevard in one of those parks over there. And he was on the mic. He was about 13, 14 years old, and he was a monster at that time.
Wow.
So by the time, you know, he got signed, it was a wrap for everybody.
how did you get into radio and hosting, right? Because it wasn't a job that people really thought that they can get, right? It was just something that we seen, and people were in that business for 40 years. What said I can do that? Because you were the originator, really, of the urban radio thing.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it was,
One of the originators.
Frankie Crocker, Fred Buggs, who's a mentor to me to this day. Those cats that I used to listen to, Chuck Leonard and all of them.
Petey Green.
Yeah, Lenny Green. Big up Lenny Green.
I said Petey Green.
Petey Green.
Yeah, well, that too, but Lenny Green too. And, you know, Vaughn Harper, God rest his soul.
Rest in
Vaughn
peace,
Harper.
Vaughn
The
Harper.
Quiet Storm. You know, those are the cats that they paved the way for me. But what I decided to do once we got the opportunity to jump on the radio is to be my authentic self. Because I remember meeting, and this is no shade on Chuck Leonard, but the way he sounded in person is not the way he sounded on the radio. So when I got my opportunity to be on the radio, I was like, I'm just going to be my authentic self and be exactly who I am and use my voice and what I wanted to say.
How did that opportunity come?
It came from the MTV Raps because they were flipping Hot 97 from a dance station into an all hip hop station. So the late Steve Smith, God rest his soul, came down and said we needed some people that's authentic and respected in hip hop, and gave Dre and I an opportunity. And I said, hell no. I was like, I'm not doing no radio. Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and be, no, I ain't doing that. And then my manager at the time, Charlie Stetler, wrote down on a piece of paper what Howard Stern was making every year. And he was like, if you could get almost that good, I could guarantee you I could get you a lot of that. And I was like, that's the money that people make on the rail. Let's do it.
How much was it at the time?
At that time, Howard probably making $4 or $5 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you think
It is in the 90s.
Do you think
Early 90s.
people respect urban radio like they do some of those other places? Like you look at some of the numbers that these white guys make in this pop radio, right? And you're talking, I mean, I think Howard makes 90 million or something like that.
Well, he's on satellite now.
Still though, he was making
$90 million,
$20-30 million
on the
a year
radio?
on terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
So do you think that they respect, and why don't you think they respect the urban jock
don't,
as much?
because they put us in a box, man. And that's the thing that kills me about it. Like they will absolutely, some of these companies will put you in a box that say all you could do is urban radio, but they won't do that to somebody else. Like a lot of the black program directors and what they call brand managers now, they put them in the urban box. Like they can't program a different station, or like all you guys know is this. This is not all we know.
Right.
We know a lot of things. I know a lot about country music. I know a lot about sports. I was offered a job in Atlanta on sports radio because I'm a sports fanatic, but they put us in the box and won't let us do other things. But you take a white PD or somebody like that, they'll let them program a black radio station when they didn't even grow up in this music, before they give us the opportunity to even make that leap from being on air to programmer. They'll take a white dude and let him program a black radio station, but won't take a black dude who has programming history and success and let him program a country station. It's all programming. What's the difference? So they put us in this box that we urban. Urban is a nice way of saying black. And you can't get out of the box.
But that's why, as a personality, I always say, like, you have to diversify your guests. Like, whatever your interests are, if you're into comic books, politics, movies, bring all those artists on.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself to just
That's right.
the urban guest.
Absolutely.
I hate that term.
I remember when I was here at Power, when we were the other place, we used to be right next door to Whoopi Goldberg, and we put John Bon Jovi on the radio.
Oh, come
You
on.
remember when I had Oprah on the radio, and people was like,
Classic moment.
yeah,
That's
how you
right.
doing that? Like, Bon Jovi don't know he cool with black people until we tell him. So we have to diversify and go outside of the box.
Did that really happen organically like that? Was Oprah just like down?
It was Jamie Foxx did that, bro.
Okay.
I had Jamie up, and I said, Jamie, you cool with Oprah. Oprah's getting a reputation that she don't like hip hop. You should tell Oprah, come holler at me. So I guess he told her, and she was in the city. He told Gail, and they were in the city, and Gail said, Jamie said that Ed Lover loves you. We should just roll up there, and she just came.
Wow.
Those
I
days
wasn't
of
there,
radio.
bro. I was not there. My cousin had gotten killed, and his wake was there, and I left early. I was in the afternoons then. I left early to go to the wake, and we're driving, and my car, get the car out the lot. We driving, me and my assistant, and he gets the phone call. Yo, Oprah's up here, and she looking for you. I'm like, please, get out of here, Oprah. Y'all play too much.
Right.
And we hung up, and they called us back. I was like, no, for real, Oprah's here. You need to. And I jumped out the car and ran back to the station,
Wow.
and she was there. And she came so cool, man. She had one security upstairs with her, one downstairs in the lobby, her and Gail, and me, and I just cut all the music off. And I was like, ladies and
You had to
gentlemen.
at that point.
Yeah, Oprah's here. It
I
was
believe
crazy.
that's the one and only time Oprah's ever done hip hop radio.
Yeah, it's the one and only time she's ever done hip-hop
she's
radio.
never done anybody else.
Yeah.
How do you be feeling now when like people attack Oprah saying like she's not for like black people, black men, all that? Like her in real life.
You got to
like,
know Oprah, man. Oprah, she does so many things that she doesn't advertise. Like, she gives away so much of her wealth that she does not advertise. Like, remember when she opened the school in Africa and people was like, hey, she need to do that in the United States? She's done that. She
Right.
just doesn't advertise it all the time. So she's a different cut from a different cloth. And it's funny knowing her because people will always tell me to call Oprah and ask Oprah to do something. I'm like, nah, I ain't calling Oprah. I call her on her birthday and Christmas. That's it.
That's not a call you just casually make all the time.
Nah, what I'm supposed to do? Yo, Oprah, my man got a movie he trying to make. I'm not doing that.
What was your most
that.
monumental moment besides Oprah on the radio, and what was one of the worst moments on radio for you?
One of the worst moments on the radio was somebody that I won't name that I was working with that we got into an argument on the radio. That was crazy because when we actually saw each other not too long ago, and both of us apologized for our parts in the fiasco. You get older and you learn, right? If you don't learn, then you just stuck. But one of my favorite moments probably was Oprah was definitely my favorite, but my favorite from the MTV Raps is two. One was definitely having James Brown on for a week because James Brown's the godfather, soul, the backbone, the most sample man in hip hop history.
My daddy calls him the first rapper.
Absolutely, right? It was funny with James because the whole time he was there, everybody around him had to call him Mr. Brown. And he let myself, Dre, and T-Money call him James. And especially when he found out that my first name is actually James. So then he was talking, yeah, James. I didn't know what he was talking about, but it was cool having him on, man. That was so dope. And probably when we had Bill Cosby on, way before all the trouble, he actually called looking for me.
Wow.
And then left a number, and I called him back, and he actually picked up the phone.
Did he give you a lecture?
No, that was crazy, Charlamagne, because, you know, Eddie Murphy had said he only calls you if he wants to tell you he don't like what you're doing or if he loves what you're doing. So I'm nervous when he gets on the phone and he told me that he was in his office with his daughter and they watching you on TV Raps and I was doing a character and he was like, man, that thing was so funny. And then he was like, listen, I'm going to have you on my show and then I'm going to come and do your show. Wow. And he was a man of his word. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did do an episode of...
Yeah, I did an episode of Comedy Show. I did it twice. The first time we got cut out. And then the second time, they interwoven me so much in the story that it was impossible for me to get cut out.
The argument you was having on the air, what was it about?
It was about shakiness on the show at the time.
Oh, so it was like something that should have been internal.
Yeah, that became,
got
yeah. It got blown out of proportion.
Oh, you know, do you think, well, first of all, I don't know if you've seen Lisa G, but Lisa G works up here. Did you see Lisa G?
Oh, no, I didn't see her today. I got to
here.
go stop by and say what's up.
But I was going to ask, do you think...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Lisa G works up here.
Do you work here?
Yeah.
No, I did not know.
Lisa G
I'm
works
like,
up
when
here.
that happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going to ask, you know, do you think radio is too serious, right? Because now when you look at Jocks, you know, we play all the time, but I remember the skits that you used to do and listening to y'all in the morning, it was fun, right? When I watched you on Rap City, it was fun. Now I feel like...
You're on TV Raps.
It was fun.
Right.
Do you feel like it's not fun anymore when it comes to radio?
I think
when you
it's
listen
not
to people?
fun because of the people take everything that you say too seriously. You know, I say one of my favorite Breakfast Club moments when y'all went viral was Birdman. You know what I mean? Put some respect on my name. I ain't playing all three of y'all. You come up here with a bunch of goons, they taking everything too seriously now. When we was poking fun at people, people knew that we was just joking around and they ain't take it that serious. There was nobody sitting outside the radio station trying to beat me up because I said a joke about them. So I just think, yeah, radio's getting too serious, but it's the times. And I hate this time that every time you turn around, you're saying rest in peace to somebody, or some artist is getting killed, or some rapper got gunned down, or somebody did this, man. It's the love is just almost gone out of it. And the love needs to come back into it because we're losing too many of us. You know, I just heard, and I want to shout out Irv Gotti because I heard he wasn't doing, you know, he had a stroke or something. But I wanted to say love to Irv. Me and Irv, you know that, Envy, we all from the same neighborhood. But Irv said, the only thing worse than getting old is not getting old.
That's right.
You know, I was with Pac. I saw Pac 15 minutes before he got shot.
Wow.
I'm sitting next to Biggie in the Peterson Automotive Museum before he walked out. The last thing he said to me is, do I want to ride with him to Nas and Steve Styles' party? I was like, nah, I got a Corvette. I was feeling myself.
Right.
I got a Corvette. And, you know, every time I'm in L.A., now I got a little money.
Now I got a drop top.
I'm giving me a Corvette. You know what I mean? Drop tops. I'm rolling.
So you
and I'm
supposed to be in
saying,
the Suburban.
nah. Yeah.
Wow.
I said, nah, Christopher. And he was always Edwin. And he gave me a bottle of Dom P. He told me, drink half of it and bring it back. So I'm like, well, I'm supposed to drink half a bottle of Dom P. I'm running around giving it to everybody. I bring it back to him. He pull out a bottle of Grand Marnier, filled it up, and gave it back to me. Wow. So that's my relationship was hanging with Big, you know. So I'm blessed to be here, man. And I
don't like how you speed past them stories.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you
Like,
why.
I'm just
Those are legendary stories.
Like, wait,
you
bring
and
it back.
Angie, y'all be saying that stuff so casual.
Casually.
That's like Greek mythology when y'all talk about Biggie and Pac.
This is
like,
American history.
We didn't know
right
these
now.
people. Like,
That's
these
right.
are mythical figures to us.
Pac was a trip, man. Being with Pac sometimes was absolutely intriguing, but a lot of people don't understand Pac was a young dude. So sometimes you get caught up in a wave of stuff when you're young. You know what I mean? And I watched him and Big go from two dudes that absolutely adored each other to being at opposite ends of something that just kind of rolled.
It got bigger than them.
It got bigger than them, right? So we used to pick Pac up. My man Stretch, too, from Live Squad. You know Stretch from the hood.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Stretch. I got Stretch and them, they deal with Tommy Boy. That was my group, Live Squad. And Stretch and Pac became friends when I did Juice, Stretch went with me to film my scene of Juice. If you blink, you missed it. I was standing behind Queen Latifah.
I was about to
No
say
lines.
I don't
No
remember
lines.
seeing you.
No
I'm
lines.
so good. Did you see my face? That's why you said that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, wait. He
No
was in that.
lines. I'm standing behind Queen Latifah when she says, the winner is Q. I'm right there.
You
That's
was
it.
there, though.
They paid me to
Period.
fine.
That's all that matters.
So that's when we met Pac. And Stretch and Pac, both heavy weed smokers, and Tretch from Naughty, they all friends. So whenever Pac came to New York, we'd pick him up, and the first thing he would always ask us, did anybody talk to Big? Where Big at? So we holler at Big or page Big or page back, and they go to Brooklyn
Paige is
and
crazy.
see Big. So they were really, really tight. So to see that, man, that just bothered me.
How much older were you than them?
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, are they OG?
Do you remember like the turning of that? Because like you saw the love, right?
Yeah.
What was like? Do you remember like when that started to shift?
When
and were
right after the incident in the studio.
When he
and
got
were
shot in
there
the studio.
conversations
Yeah.
behind the scenes we hear about people trying to calm it down, but what was it really like behind the scenes trying to make them understand that like
by the time it escalated to the point it escalated to when I was in Vegas, that fight when Pac got killed, and I saw Pac coming through the Betty Boop bar, and I'm standing there with Bishop Don Magic Wand, Pretty Tony, Handsome Dre, and
you
all the
was
pimps.
outside.
I'm outside in the bar, and they trying to convince me they won't give me a prostitute. And I'm like, I ain't got no time to be watching no woman 24 hours. Nah, Ed, you a pimp, man. You got pimp in you, man. I'm telling you, man. You's a pimp. I was like, man, I don't want no prostitute, man. Pac comes through with Sugar them. Now, I didn't see the stomping out of the kid because I was in the bar. So he come through, he stopped. We talking. Yo, what's up? What's good, man? How you doing, bro? I'm good. And I'm like, you coming to Suge's party? I'm like, yeah, bet. I love you. I love you too. They keep going. In my mind, I'm from the East Coast. I'm not going to Suge's club in the middle of an East Coast, West Coast war. Even though I'm neutral, I ain't going over there. Just y'all gonna get drunk and let's stomp out the kid from New York? Nah, I'm not doing that.
Do you wish you jumped in between since you knew both of them and tried to?
I
put
did.
them both
I
on the
tried
phone?
to talk to Pac. He wasn't hearing it. Big was stunned. Big didn't know where it was coming from, why it was coming. He was hurt. Big, and C's probably told y'all that before. Big was honestly hurt by it because they loved each other that much. Once that ball got rolling, it was just impossible. And then you got Vine Magazine and all of these people doing East Coast, West Coast beef. It wasn't that. It was Bad Boy Death Row. That was it.
How did y'all handle that on radio and TV back then? 'Cause you
I
know,
minded my business. That's what I did. I minded my business. I wasn't getting in between that stuff, man, because it was hurtful to see two friends just turn what they love they have into ashes.
Right.
So I just try to stay out of it as much as I can.
You know, I wanted to ask you the personality. Back in the day, how did you know that you had to be multimedia? Because you did TV, you did radio,
Movies.
you did movies. How did those things just happen, or you were intentional about being multimedia?
I was intentional about it because my mother and father, I was lucky enough to grow up with both parents in the home, and they were always instilling me that when you get an opportunity to do something, you take that opportunity. So just like you writing books, you on your third book now?
Third book, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When I had those opportunities to do that, I took the opportunities. You know, even if some of them didn't work out, I still took the opportunity. I remember talking to Angie when Angie was going to make her album, and I was in the studio with her during one of her shows. I think I was there late for some reason. And Angie was like, man, Ed, I'm going to do this album. I don't know if I should do it. Supposed to come out whack. I said, Angie, me and Dre did an album. Take the opportunity. I said, are you going to regret it if you don't do it? And she was like, yeah. I said, then do it. That's all. You take every opportunity that's presented in front of you. Now, every check ain't a good check. There's been some endorsement stuff that I probably wish I never got involved with, but it's the way it is. You take the opportunities when the opportunities presented themselves. That's why when I had the opportunity to do this band thing.
We're going to get to the band. We're going to get to the band.
Oh, yeah, my fault.
You got so many good stories. It's hard.
He's here for the summer
Yo.
tour. Ed Lover presents the live mixtape Summer Tour 2024. So he's on tour for that. So we definitely going to be talking about
We're going to
that.
get to that. But,
Okay.
Who's the Man come about?
yeah, I was going to say, who's the man? How did that happen?
I wrote Who's the Man. I wrote the story for Who's the Man. I knocked on Dre's door. And then Dre and I expanded on it. And then Charlie, who was our manager, said it's a good idea. Let's take it to New Line. And then New Line said, yeah. And then we said, we're not doing it unless Ted directs it. And Ted was like, bet. He wanted to do it. And then they found a screenwriter because I didn't know how to write a script. And the screenwriter wrote the script, and we sat with him to take that out. No, nobody talks like that in the barbershop. Take that out. Take it out. And then they greenlit it, man. You know, so it was a good idea. And if you look at it, when you watch it, it says story by Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, because we wrote the story.
How's Dr. Dre doing now?
Dre
He also
is
speak?
recovering. Dre has been not well for a while. You know, he's suffering from diabetes and legally blind, but we got Dre in a good place right now, and he's getting back to being Dre again. Now, he's still my partner. We still talk all the time. He's still a damn fool, and we still do a lot of stuff together, so he's good.
Did you didn't do other films after Who's the Man, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. We had a 3-picture deal that fell apart.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I've done a lot of movies, bro. A lot of stuff, yeah.
Now, I wanted to know, you know, at one time you talk about your finances and it went bad. What made the finances go bad? Because when you hear the stories, you hear the movies, you hear radio, you hear this. What happened? What was the money that was spent on, or maybe somebody took advantage?
IRS, bro.
You just was talking about that this morning.
Yeah, I heard y'all talking about this morning, IRS, but I bounced right back off of that, bro. Thank God for the love of a good woman. My wife is smarter than me. And she is the one that was like, don't worry about it. We'll get it together. And when they freeze your account and take your money, that is woo, bro.
Wow.
I was so happy I was getting paid the next 2 weeks. I was like, I was in the house crying. I ain't got no money in the IRS. They took like 90,000 straight out of my account, bro. Just like wipe me. I was like, I'm going to die. I got paid. So my wife was like, nah, just push the car note back. Call these people, push that back. Push this back and push it back. And I did, and I was able to recover off of it. You know? It was a good thing.
Yeah,
but you got to pay that IRS, baby. You better. Because they coming for their money. They don't care when it is.
What is the live mixtape exactly?
The live mixtape is a journey of music. Like I was saying earlier, it's me coming full circle. These two beautiful individuals that you see behind me do all the singing. That's Carrie Epps. That's Sherwood Brown Jr. They do all the singing. I do all the rapping. And we got a full band, and we take everybody on a musical journey, and we just have fun. We do everything from LL to Cheryl Lynn to Rick James to Nicki Minaj. We do everything. You got to hear them two sing, man. They monsters, man.
And if you're in the New York area, he's going to be at SOB's this Friday, and Wednesday he's in Atlanta. So if you're in the area, Friday SOB's, Wednesday Atlanta, definitely go check him out. I see you were in Boston a couple days ago.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was Boston was all right. But you know what was live? The cities that you don't think are live are the cities that's live. Pittsburgh, crazy. St. Louis, crazy. Philly came out heavy. They was crazy. Nashville was crazy. And the first time we did Atlanta was ridiculous. Yeah, that was cool.
You know, I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about these hip hop like media personality lists? And do you think, you know, icons like, you know, the big boys, the Sways, the Angies, even yourself, do you think that y'all should still be on them? Because I feel like they got to have some type of other all-time Hall of Fame list for y'all. I don't even think they should put y'all on those things anymore.
Yeah. You know what? I think everybody's list is everybody's opinion, and everybody's always going to differ with whatever list they come out with. Who's the greatest that did this? Who's the greatest that did that? It's funny because we were just having a conversation because I just recently heard somebody was like, I think Tank said Chris Brown was better than Michael Jackson or something like that. And I was like, huh?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I think now people do, because everything is so social media, people do stuff for clickbait. So I think everybody that has their list is their list. My list is always going to differ from their list. Somebody's always asking me who's my top 5 rappers of all time. I get the same answer. I don't have one. I don't have one. I go by eras. But I just can't say that this person is better than this person or that person's better than this person, because you're always going to leave somebody off, somebody that's dope. Like somebody might say, you know, it used to be Jay-Z, Biggie, and Nas at one point, right? Who the better, Jay-Z, Biggie, but how do you leave 3,000 out of that? How do you leave Black Thought off of that?
Tupac back then.
Tupac back then. How do you leave Most Def off? It's just too many.
Right.
So everybody have your list. It don't bother me.
I think it's feeling too. Like, to me, growing up, driving to school every day and hearing, what's up, y'all? What you got to say? Who's on the phone with Lisa and Dre? It is moments that you never forget.
Right.
But there's some kid out there that never heard that moment, and their moment is, good morning, USA. Yo, 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 yo. You know, and it's generation, because I don't think they actually understand what it was and what it meant to people.
It's all generational. Like when I was a kid, we had our thing, you know, listening to Z100 early in the morning. And then I had my time for the generation, and there's generations of people that listen to you guys every single day. It's just a generational thing. It doesn't make one thing better than another. It's just what we had for our generation and our time, and now it's somebody else's generation and their time. The stuff that my grandson listened to is not the stuff that my daughter listened to.
Correct.
You know, I don't understand it. It's a whole vibe, Grandpa. I'm like, okay, it's whack.
Whole vibe.
That's what I look at it like.
I like the Mount Rushmore conversation though, because I feel like they are founding fathers, founding, mothers who shoulders we absolutely stand on.
Right.
So if you're talking about hip hop media Mount Rushmore, you got to be on.
Absolutely.
Got to be on.
Thank you,
hip-hop
brother.
Rushmore.
Thank you. I would hope
You
so.
have to.
Who's sitting there with you though? Who would you say is sitting
Well,
there?
Dre
with
is definitely next to me now.
Well, y'all a package, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one.
Y'all a package. Y'all are one. Who else is there?
On the Mount Rushmore?
Of
Hip hop media
yeah.
personality.
Ooh, jeez. Damn, I cannot leave Angie Martinez.
Gotta have
off.
Of course.
And I can't leave Flex off. I can't leave Funk Flex off of there. There's no way. Especially if you're talking New York, but this country is so big, and there's been other people in other cities that have done wonderful things. Like we got the roll call from the Baker Boys.
Wow.
In California, I had to call them and ask them, can we do this? Steve Smith tried to give it to us. I was like, I ain't stealing nobody's stuff. Let me ask them.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, man, y'all go ahead. I was like, I bet. Let's do the little twist to it and do it our way. So, what's my man name? Dan, you in the room. Dan, what's my man name that from K-Day back in the days? You know what I'm talking about. Greg, he's big in L.A. when K-Day was the first AM all hip-hop radio station. He's straight pioneer this stuff, man. So,
What would you say?
Not Julio G, right?
now, Julio, I used to work with Julio in L.A.
Okay.
Big up Julio, too.
What would you say as
Who
an
would be the
OG?
other one though? You said who?
Greg Mack. Greg Mack from K-Day.
Greg
Greg
Mack.
Mack from K.
Greg Mack from K-Day.
Who would be the other person on the Mount Rushmore?
I don't...
Sway, Big
Sway,
Boy.
definitely. Big Boy, yeah. Flex, Angie, me, Dre. Y'all made your mark, man. You made your mark. You deserve to be on there, bro.
Would you not put Wendy on there first?
Wendy, oh yeah,
Wendy has to
Wendy.
be
I'm
on there.
sorry,
People
my
forget
bad.
Wendy was-
Forget Wendy started the radio.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wendy, definitely.
I was going
She
to
was-
ask.
No disrespect, Wendy. You definitely
No,
belong
absolutely.
on
I was going to ask, as an OG listening to different radio personalities, what do you like and what don't you like when you listen to
there. I don't
any
like
other radio?
I don't like the fake and the phony. I like the authenticity. I listen to y'all. I like what y'all are doing, and because y'all authentic, and you say what you feel and you mean what you say. You know what I mean? Y'all didn't get shook at all when Birdman came up in there. Y'all didn't get shook at all. Y'all just looked at him like, word, okay, you really think it's that easy, huh? So, the time you checked out, who'd you check for saying something crazy about your wife?
Zamira.
Gee, who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's not an
Tyrese.
individual.
It was Tyrese.
everybody.
Yes, that's what I'm
But that's
talking
who I
about.
am. That's who I am as a person.
Exactly.
And I can't,
So who you are,
Right.
because I've known you for a while. I've known Charlamagne for a while. I just met you,
Yeah, you
Lauren.
just met me.
Who y'all are is what we hear on this radio. And that's what I respect. I don't respect the fakeness now, all of that. Y'all never say, my man this, my man that, because y'all know this business. You've been in this business. You know all that stuff is fake, man. These people are your people. Why you could do something for them.
That's right.
Then when you can't do nothing for them no more, they ain't your people no more.
Correct.
So that authenticity is what I respect and what I like. And the fake and the phony, I don't have any room for that in my life.
Was it more beneficial to be friends with artists back in the day? Because I remember.
No.
Okay.
No, it still ain't. No, my friends now are the same friends I've always had. But I think probably my closest friend, I was closer to the reps than the artists. Always been closer to the reps than the artists. Probably my closest friend was probably Pac and Heavy. Heavy D we were very close.
Rest in peace, Heavy.
Yeah, rest in peace, Heavy.
I just see his daughter just got his catalog back.
Yeah,
after
that's
fighting
dope.
for so long. She
that's
finally got
dope.
the catalog and everything back.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of suing the NFL when they took the whole "Come On" Son thing from you?
I ain't have to, bro.
They paid you.
Absolutely.
They look good.
I have to, yeah.
What six-figure range?
It was nice. It was
It was nice.
Yeah, it was great.
All right.
My daughter got a master's degree. That's all I got to say.
Okay, what school did she go to?
She went to Montclair State, and then she got a master's degree at William Patterson.
Let me Google how much that tuition
So hold on.
was.
So they reached out to you and
like,
handled it?
we had to reach out.
Yeah,
we did a little reaching out.
Yeah.
I was scared because it's owned by Disney, and I was like, damn, I ain't gonna be able to take my grandkids to Disney World. Be a big picture head love up there. Do not let this fool in, but it worked out. They tried to say they started. They know they ain't
It was
started.
too blatant.
Yeah,
It was
too
a blatant
It was a blatant
rap, bro.
theft.
It was a blatant. They even wrote it the same, except they put man.
Wow.
I was like, all right, nah, we ain't gonna let y'all get over with that. Not at all.
Do you believe the New York '90s hip hop scene has been properly documented?
No, not yet. Not the whole scene.
Yeah.
No, nobody has done that yet. They've properly documented certain parts of it, right? The whole tribe part and but nobody's delved into Mobb Deep and Big and Jay and Nas and all the cats and Black Moon and Wu-Tang and all that stuff existing at the same time. That film hasn't been done yet. So it hasn't been documented correctly. No, and radio at the same time.
Yeah, what New York radio was back then was incredible.
We burst on the scene. There was no other all-hip-hop radio station in New York City but Hot 97. So when we used to have these parties and we used to, we number one again, and then we pat ourselves on the back, and I'd be like, number one against who? We competing against us. We the only ones here. Why are we happy about let's beat everybody, and then we can say we number one. So it was that time was special. When you're living it, you don't realize how special that time is. It was just so much going on. So to answer your question, no, nobody has documented. I wish somebody would. Because there's so many different parts of it. Fashion, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The fashion was crazy. Carl Kanai and
Fubu,
April Walker,
Echo,
Walker Wear,
Varsity,
right?
And
yeah.
Sean
5,001 flavors, what
Yeah.
they was doing, and everything, all that was happening at the same time. The parties, and
Colors.
Chris Latimer doing Cancun every year. We used to go
Chris
to
Lat.
Cancun.
Yep.
That's where the one mistake Chris made, and all of us slept on this. Nobody trademarked what happens in Cancun stays in Cancun. Vegas took it and trademarked it.
Wait.
It's theirs.
Wow.
Yeah, I was saying, what happens in Cancun, stay in Cancun. Because debauchery was happening in Cancun, bro. Everybody was smashing everybody. So it was like, this is Cancun. We not bringing this home. Sweetheart, I know we had a good time in Cancun, but we home. We ain't.
Wow.
It's not happening no more. I know you live in Minnesota. I'm never
So
coming
you
to
originated the
Minnesota.
block list.
We had fun. We was wilding.
Do you feel like, because now a lot of that fun gets turned onto people, lawsuits are happening, all that.
I understand it now.
But when you see that, like all that happening to like our legends, like a Diddy and, Russell, like different people, how do you feel about that? Because I know you had said one time, like,
I
you can't take away what Diddy's done. I mean, for music
You can't take away his legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
But what he did to Cassie that we saw on camera was atrocious and deplorable. And he should be ashamed of himself for it. Now, the rest of it, I don't know. Have I been to Diddy parties? Yeah. Did I know what time to go home? Yeah. Have I hung out with Diddy? Yeah. Have I had fun with Diddy? Has Diddy always treated me with love and respect? Hell yeah. So all I could go by is what I know about Sean Combs. What I saw, deplorable and despicable and disgusting. And as a father of 4 girls, Diddy would have had a problem if that was my child. But I can't erase his legacy and what he did musically and what he meant to music. And I think he's learning a hard lesson right now that all them people that you thought was your people, they was never your people.
So what should happen to Diddy now? Because we talk about his legacy, right? People talk about forgiveness. People talk about he should lose everything. What's your thoughts on what should happen to somebody like a Diddy?
I think if there is something legal, let the courts play it out. But in the court of public opinion and morality, that's something totally different. And he hasn't been convicted of a crime. So the man is innocent until proven guilty, and I would hope that somebody would feel that way about me. But I think he has to make amends for what we saw.
We saw a video.
We saw a video.
Can
like
he
that
make
happened
amends
to,
for that?
That happened to, what's my man name? Ray Rice. Remember, he used to play for
Rice.
Baltimore.
Yeah,
He did the thing in the elevator, and he didn't get to play professional football anymore. So I think, Diddy got some soul searching to do, and he's going to have to make amends for what we saw.
Can he make amends for that, though? Like, how do you do that? Like, after something like that, it's super public. It's, at this point, his reputation is what it is. Like, how do you come back from something like that?
I've never been in that situation, so I can't answer that question, but it's going to be tough. First, you got to take care of what you need to take care of. If I was in that situation, I don't know how or what I would do. I would think I would just have to rely on my God and just take everything one day at a time. But I would definitely try to make some amends for it and probably get some counseling for it.
And what you said is true, and I don't understand why people can't explore that. Like, your emotions do be complicated when situations like this happen. Because, yes, what he did is disgusting, right? But we still can't act like we didn't wild out to All About the Benjamins and we didn't, love that whole bad boy era at some point.
Yeah, we played 112 in the show, man. Like, you got to do the Mace part.
You know what I'm saying?
Homo you want to, homo you want to. Can't erase that. That's fire.
You've never been in a situation like you said, but when I hear y'all talk about separating the man from the music, I feel like with R. Kelly, people instantly, like, stations stop playing songs and all that
Stations
stuff.
stop playing them. People bang R. Kelly in their car.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there was like a corporate movement around
because his music
R. Kelly, but it was different with Diddy.
to what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, when you hear about what he's doing, you hear age ain't nothing but a number. It seems like it's different. The music was about that.
Man, that was a good song. That's so bad. Wow.
I think also and this is gonna sound crazy, I think Diddy was, I don't want to say more relatable, but he was more in tune to hip hop. I would see Diddy, we would go to Diddy parties. He was more, I know Diddy. I don't know R. Kelly. You know what I mean? So it's a little different when you're dealing with people like that.
Yeah, yeah. And with Rob, with Diddy, you're not hearing nothing about underage. You know what I mean? You're hearing about wild parties, and you're hearing about what happened with Miss Cassie Ventura, but you're not hearing about him taking advantage of underage girls and boys, and that's what we got with Rob.
It's all bad though, but
that was an open secret in the music business for years.
Really?
That's what Rob's preference was. Yeah,
Wow.
You ain't heard that before? All the
I mean, I've heard people say that. Yeah, it was an open secret, but I mean, why do people allow that? I guess
he was making money. People allow a lot of stuff when it comes time to make money, right?
I want to know, back to the radio, where you were talking about white program directors and white people running the industry. When Hot 97 flipped to hip hop, right? And of course, hip hop is our culture. Did you ever feel a way that the bosses were white and they were pretty much telling us what to do for our culture?
In the very beginning of Hot 97, I can't say that I've ever felt that way because they were always in tune to what we were doing and open to listen. It wasn't just like this blanketed. When I went to Steve's office, it said something to Steve. Steve would always listen. When Tracy was there, if I go say, Tracy, I think that we should be doing this, that, and the third, Tracy would always listen. And if there was a corporate reason why we couldn't do it, or there was a financial reason why we couldn't do it, they were always open to listen. So I never felt that way over there. I never felt like I wasn't being heard, even though this was the music that we grew up on and the music that we gave to the world. I never felt that I wasn't being heard, because it's the same way at MTV. Everybody that was my boss at MTV was white, but I can always talk to Ted and Peter, and they will always fight that good fight for me, Dre, and Fab.
I love Tracy. Tracy was the one that made me do
Tracy's
radio.
great.
So salute to Tracy.
Shout out to Tracy.
How did your approach on TV differ from your approach on radio?
Television, well, radio is, this radio is automatic. It's right in front of your face. It's like as soon as you walk out the house, whatever you said, people are going to repeat back to you. Television, you do your job, you act, and they may see it later, or they may not see it, and may air this day, it may not air this day. Radio is the most immediate thing because people get it automatically, and they're in your face, and that's it. So radio, I approach radio differently than television, because television, most of the time if I'm on TV, I'm acting. But if I'm doing radio, it's just me.
Is it true that you were only making $500 a week the first week of your MTV Raps?
Yeah, hell yeah. The first 8 to maybe a year. Yeah, first year. Yeah.
Wow.
Because they didn't know what to do with the show. Fab was already there. Thank God for Fab.
Fab Five Freddy, yeah.
Fab Five Freddy.
Okay.
He
Somebody
decided.
be like, I know you like Fabulous was there? No, just that was
No, not that Fab. There's another Fab before Fab. It was Fab Five Freddy.
Got you.
He was already there. He got on in 88. So this show blew up. They wanted to do a daily show. So when they decided to do the daily show, Dre and I got the opportunity to audition because Peter knew Dre. Peter Doherty, God rest his soul, executive producer, knew Dre. Ted Demme knew me. And Ted called me in. Ted had the foresight to put me and Dre together. They had $1,000 a week for a host.
Gotcha.
So Dre took 5, I took the other 5. It didn't last that long. We got our money.
What was the biggest check you got, if you don't mind talking from radio or TV? The biggest check that you got?
At one time, just like one check in my hand, 100,000.
What you was doing on the radio?
That was from TV. I had an opportunity to do a late night TV talk show, and they gave me $100,000 check in my hand.
A few episodes, or like
No, it never aired. It
Oh.
never aired. We shot the pilot at the David Letterman Theater, and it was a good show, and everything was a go. And then they called me and said, "Oh, we decided to go with Keenan Ivory Wayans, but they gave me $100,000." I'm like, "Fine." I mean, Keenan is a great guy. They gave me $100,000 holding fee, so
Wow.
I was fine with that. That's when they hold you like for a year. You can't do nothing else. Like
Yeah.
you can't do another talk show, and they just handed me a check for $100,000. But Dre and I went from $500 a week to $250,000 a year
wow.
after the first year of Yo MTV Raps each.
It feels like back then it was more about hip hop culture than hip hop business.
Yeah. Money, I think at some point money ruined hip hop in a certain way.
Wow.
Because it was about the culture. Like you had to be nice, right? You couldn't just get in. Like you couldn't just go and you know, wet like the water, hurt, heat, hot, set, I'm wet like the water.
Wow,
Money,
I'm so
money
young and
in my
traumatized.
pocket.
I'm like, that's
I don't
lit.
She
know.
rocking, she rocking. She's so young, she
I got
rocking.
water's flowing,
Look
and
at her
I'm
face.
flowing. So you know, and you had to have some kind of skill.
Right.
If you came around with that, you might get beat up and told to get out of here, right?
Wow.
So you had to have some kind of skill level. But once the money got involved and everybody started making money, and you saw Death Row, $100 million company, you saw Bad Boy, $100 million company, you saw Rockefeller, $100 million company, you saw Rough Riders, $100 million company. Sooner or later, it transitioned into we just trying to move units. We just trying to sell records. We streaming now. So everybody, you know, with Soulja Boy, which is another one of my favorite interviews y'all ever did. Drake! Oh, then I found out that was true.
You know what's so
Thank you to the
funny?
internet.
You brought up Soulja. I remember being in New York. I forgot what year it was, and you was going on a Soulja Boy rant in New
Hated
York.
Soulja Boy.
I hated Soulja Boy. I did. And we cool too. We cool right now.
this
but-
off.
Yeah,
We're
what
not
he-
playing that no more.
What he did
What was your issue with Big Draco?
back then, after the first couple of records, I just thought he was trash.
You, boom.
Yeah, I just thought
I
it was trash.
hated
It was
that,
a
bro.
hot record, though. But guess what else I missed out on? Y'all not even going to believe this, son.
What?
Mike Kaiser. Y'all know Mike Kaiser.
Of course.
Mike
Who's
Kaiser
Mike?
came to Hot 97 and played Get At Me Dog for me, and I said it's the worst record I ever heard.
Oh,
in my
you
life.
got it. Well,
I missed
can't.
out on that, so I missed out
What?
on Big Draco too. So I apologize.
Damn.
I missed out on. I told
What
you.
did
Was
Kanye
that
say
your
to you when you
age?
told him that? What did
I
Kanye
was like,
say?
man, you bucking. I'm like, man, he barking. We already got a dog. We got Snoop Dogg. Why we need another dog? And then the beat that was used was the old knick-knack paddywhack off of EPMD. I'm old school. You don't bite nobody else's beat. You don't use it again. And then we went to Westchester County for a Hot 97 hot shot basketball team we had, and that DJ dropped that, and them kids lost it. I was like, Ed, you was wrong. You was wrong on that one.
What other
I didn't think
things-
Soulja Boy was going to last.
What other things did you miss out on that were like, now they're like, we look at the moments like, oh my God, like that you could have been a part of or could have been a first on?
My daughter, my oldest daughter, Tiffany, I should choke the crap out of her. Lloyd Banks was in her homeroom class
Oh, wow.
giving her the G Unit mixtapes before they were signed.
Wow.
And she never once said, Ed, their dad, here's this group called G Unit that's floating around, and Fifth is from Southside Jamaica, Queens. And I'm
But would you have done it back then? Because Fifth had beef with everybody from Queens.
absolutely I would have did it.
He liked that type of stuff. That was
Absolutely.
authentic, right?
Because a lot of people still,
I
stood
would
away from
probably
50
tried
back
to
then.
squash the beef. I would probably went to Black Jess and like, yo, Jess, man, talk to Preem, man. We got to stop this, man. We got to get this kid going. This kid, matter of fact, y'all need points? What y'all need? Yeah, my daughter, man, she did not tell me Banks was in her class. And here go the crazy stuff. He went to August Martin. My daughter went to August Martin. Come to find out, Banks' mom's was in my homeroom class at August Martin High School.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I seen Banks last week. What's up to Banks? I seen him in the
Shout
airport.
out to Banks,
What up,
man.
Banks?
How's the game evolved since you started? And what changes have surprised you the most?
I think the change that surprised me the most is we don't know how people are getting paid from their music. You know, the streaming thing, I hear a lot about it. Like, this person streamed this many streams, and I'm like, so how they getting paid? And then I saw Snoop complaining about he don't even know how he get paid off of his stuff. I always thought that we would have hard copies of music. Like, it's easier to say this person actually sold
Right.
this person is popular because people go out and consume and bought and paid for it and took it with them and lived with it. Like when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, we was running around the city trying to find somebody that had it. You couldn't find it in the record store. So I think what shocked me the most is the streaming and probably the lack of balance in hip hop. The balance is not there. The love is gone. Like even if we had Kaya, right? We still had Latifah and Light and Salt and Pepper, and it was always a balance. If you had NWA, you had some conscious over there, right? You had Public Enemy,
Talib Kweli,
right?
Public Enemy,
You had Talib Kweli. The balance is gone.
Why you think that is though?
I don't know. I don't know. Some people say it's the record companies. I don't know. I just think it's what people think they need to do to get on nowadays.
Yeah, because I feel like the conscious artists are there, but the controversy and like the other stuff breaks through. So they don't get the light. They don't get the, you know what I mean? You got to be like a cult fan of someone who's conscious nowadays in order to
like
know
the
they're
J.
there.
Cole's, right? Like,
well, J. Cole breaks through though, but yeah,
he gives the balance.
Yeah, he does
Crit,
give the balance.
The cats like Crit and them, they give the balance. Rhapsody is one of them. I've been telling people about Rhapsody 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
I love Rhapsody. She's the balance, the 3D not T's. I love that young lady. They give the balance. The Lola Brooks, I like Lola. There's a lot of young artists out there that I really like, but we need more of a balance.
How do you feel about the new wave of music in New York? They're like sexy drill.
It ain't for me. It don't mean it's bad. No.
Okay, I mean, I can't see you dancing.
It ain't for me. You got to understand what's for you, what's not for you, right? And I get to a point now where I'm like, okay, that's for them. If that's your vibe, that's your wave, cool. Because I remember my father used to get at me about hip hop. He's like, that's crap. That's deep. Anybody can do that. I'm like, Dad, it's music. That ain't music. So the way I don't get in the way of the young artists coming up. Do your thing. God bless you. Y'all making way more money than we ever made. So good. We open the door for y'all. Go ahead, run through that door and keep the door open for the next generation.
Absolutely.
Because y'all ain't going to understand the next generation. I never thought I'd see the day, you know, when you see a cat be like, who's Jay-Z? If Jay-Z wasn't a billionaire, they wouldn't know his music.
Nah, that's real.
That's
you know what I
some
mean?
People, no shade to Jay-Z. I love you, Jay-Z.
No, some people be like, nah, I don't listen to that.
If it wasn't, like, some people know him as Beyonce's husband. They don't even know a lot of the stuff.
They
like,
don't
I think
know he ever
my
made a
niece
record.
knows him as Beyonce's husband. I think that's crazy.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Shout out to Beyonce, too. Send me some of that new whiskey you got coming out. I drink bourbon.
Well, tonight,
Case of that joint.
tonight, he's going to be at SOB's. Ed Lover's at SOB's. Man. What time tonight does it start? Get your tickets right now.
7 o'clock. Ed Lover presents the live mixtape band. We rock a straight hour and a half. It's New York, so we might do 2 hours tonight.
And it's all good music. Come on out.
Yeah.
It's a date night. Bring your girl. Ladies, bring your fella. They have food there. It could be a ladies' night out. They recreate some of the biggest records in hip-hop and R&B. Ed Lover does the rapping. They do the singing. So I can't wait to.
We got
I wish I could make it tonight if I wasn't out
on
of town.
vocals. We got Mr. Sherwood Brown Jr. on vocals, and we got a hell of a band, man. A bunch of really talented young cats.
And we appreciate you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm on the Breakfast Club. Look at this.
Absolutely.
Ladies and
Listen,
gentlemen.
you one of the icons whose shoulder we stand on. So,
That's right.
You know.
I appreciate you, man. And I always appreciated the fact that when Power 105 let me go and y'all came in, y'all never crapped on me, man. And I really appreciate
on that
that.
level.
I appreciate
we want to
that,
do things
man.
that we want to do things that you did.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We've been
I
trying
was
to figure out a
you
movie
know,
for the
people
long-
always
for the
try to
longest
stir
time.
something up. Now, what about the Breakfast Club, man? How you about the? I'm like, me and Envy from the same hood, son. I said, you ever heard the Breakfast Club say anything bad about me? No. Then I ain't gonna say nothing bad about the Breakfast Club. And so y'all do what y'all do, man. And shout out to Jess and congratulations.
Yeah.
Me and Jess did the Essence last year together. She's a joy to work with, man.
We had to fight so many of your listeners when we first started.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna tell you one of your biggest listeners who was on our head.
Football.
Warren Sapp.
Oh, Warren Sapp was on our head.
Warren
Man,
Sapp
Warren
used
Sapp was
to
on our
tweet,
head.
who are these young punks on the radio?
Look at
Young lover.
Oh, Warren Sapp was, oh my
Yo,
God.
when I first got the
Wow.
Power, and we flipped Power from the R&B from Jammin' 105 to Power 105, that's the same calls I took that morning when we flipped the station. Where's such and such? Where's this person at? Who's that? I don't want to hear no Ed Lover and Dr. Dre on the radio, so it's full circle, man. Shout out to Sapp, though.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. It's Ed Lover. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.